The greatest male sprinter of all time, Usain Bolt, recently expressed his concerns that not enough was being done to return the $12 million stolen from him by an employee of the now defunct SSL investment group. The truth is, people, Bolt may lose this one. He may never get back his money. Here's why. Welcome back to the channel, people. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for making it Peter Lloyd World. Go ahead, please hit the subscribe button so we continue to grow. When you do that, hit the notification bell so you know when the next video drops. You drop a video at least once a day here in Peter Lloyd World. Also, if you enjoy the content, please hit that like button and finally leave your thoughts. So, ready? Yep, good to go. Now, if you are new to track and field, let me just tell you this: the greatest male sprinter of all time, and some people have actually suggested he may be the greatest athlete of all time, period, is Usain Bolt, the holder of the men's 100 meters world record and the men's 200 meters world record. 2 years ago, it is alleged $12 million went missing from monies that Usain Bolt had invested at the now defunct SSL group, better known as Stocks and Securities Limited. This money, it is said, was stolen by a young lady by the name of Panton. $12 million. Now I need to tell you, this is 12 million US dollars, not Jamaican. So this is almost 2 billion Jamaican dollars. And of course, we know that actions have been taken. We know that, and I know this personally because I know persons who were directly impacted by this event at SSL. Stocks and Securities Limited was shut down. I know that several of the investors there have received most of their monies. These are monies I suspect that were not stolen directly by this young lady. Most of them have received back at least 90% of the funds that they had there. If they had stocks in the Jamaican Stock Exchange, in most instances, those stocks would have been transferred to another investment institution. And if they had overseas stocks investments with SSL, then in terms, those stocks would have been stolen and the clients or former clients of SSL would have been given the equivalent of those sums, less 5 to 10%. Now, it is obvious that Usain Bolt has not received back a dime of his $12 million. He has said this repeatedly. And the truth is, we have not heard him talk much about this until recently, when I suspect after 2 years, he's beginning to lose patience. And who wouldn't, people? If it was $2, I would start losing patience. So 12 million US dollars, which is an almost incomprehensible sum of money, regardless of where you're from, he's clearly getting upset. Now, recently, I watched an interview that was done on a YouTube channel and podcast called The Fix, where he spoke at length about this. I mean, I'd actually never heard him talk about this at length. I've heard, bits and stuff, but never. And clearly, he's very frustrated. And who wouldn't be? 12 million US dollars is a fortune no matter where you are in the world. 12 million US dollars, in truth, living in Jamaica, makes you easily a member of the 1%. And in fact, makes you a member of the 1% almost anywhere on the globe. So it was evident that Bolt had become frustrated.
It's a lot of international people have called.
Yes.
And said, do you want to speak on Miles? I said, nah, man, in time. But now, at some point, I have to start saying something. Now, I have to be careful. Cause
And the truth is, I guess most of us would be able to relate to his frustration. As I said, $12 million, people, is a lot of money. This is a young man. He worked hard for that money. And if you don't remember who he is, take a quick look. So, who is responsible for giving back Bolt his money?
Introducing Peter Lloyd World merchandise, where style meets comfort. From trendy tees to cozy hoodies, we've got something for everyone. Elevate your wardrobe with our high-quality, fashionable designs that make a statement. Whether you're hitting the streets or chilling at home, Peter Lloyd World has you covered. Shop now and upgrade your look with Peter Lloyd World merchandise. Available exclusively at Peter Lloyd World. Link in description below.
Now, this, of course, is my 2 cents. As far as I'm aware, there are a few challenges regarding giving back Usain Bolt his money. Let's go through them step by step. Firstly, I have read repeatedly that when you invest your monies into private investment firms, the government of Jamaica is just not responsible for that money. And if you lose that money, you lose that money. That's just it. That's how it works, unfortunately. Now, you do have the FCIDC, I think that's correct. You do have funds that if you put it into a commercial bank, the government of Jamaica is responsible for protecting up to a certain amount. It might be 300 or 600 or 800,000. I can't remember at this point. But my point is, technically the government, regardless of which party would have been in power, is not responsible for returning Usain Bolt his money. The second part is that what should have happened is, and I'm talking about this from direct involvement because I know people directly impacted by this thing. The other part of the problem is that SSL apparently should have had enough monies insured so that if something like this happened at SSL, all the investors would have been able to easily get back their money based on the insurance funds that SSL would have collected. And apparently they didn't have enough money. In fact, apparently they were way below the threshold that they should have been. Now, let's be clear. The investors in this situation cannot be blamed. The monies were handed over to SSL, and SSL had a duty to ensure that these kinds of happenings did not occur. But who is supposed to give back Usain Bolt his money? Is it the government? And understand, I'm not political in any way, shape, or form. I genuinely am not. But if the government gives back Usain Bolt his money, here is the quandary. The government then would have to give back monies to probably any other person who had lost monies in other institutions, including SSL. Because how are you going to give back Usain Bolt $12 million when someone has probably lost $100,000 and someone has lost $2 million? But in fact, those people, if they were smart enough, they would simply sue the government and say, you gave back Usain Bolt his money, you need to give us back our money. And this could just go crazy because we could take this to a whole other level. That all the persons in all the other institutions, and we have seen this happening a little too often in Jamaica, and of course across the globe, who have lost monies in a commercial bank or a private banking institution or whatever, could then sue the government and say, you gave back Usain Bolt his money. We need our money too. What would the government do in that situation? The other side of the coin, and I don't want to get too technical, so I'm going to try and be as simple as is humanly possible, is this. The fledgling investment, the investment industry that is still nowhere near as strong as it possibly should have been, was severely hit by this SSL process. Because the truth is, how do you tell the average man you should invest your money when Usain Bolt, easily one of the top 5 most popular human beings on the planet, and certainly one of the top 2 or 3 most popular Jamaicans of all time, lost $12 million and may not get it back? How are you going to get the average human being to invest? I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd be very skeptical, because if you can steal Usain Bolt's money, whose money can't you steal? And this has created a massive problem, because the truth is, if you look at the Jamaican Stock Exchange, the market has been static almost for quite some time, maybe the last 2 years. And it's not just because of what happened during the pandemic and its impact, or the war in Ukraine, or the war between Israel and Palestine, and the people in Gaza, supply chain issues, inflation. But I also think in all that mix, you have to put in Usain Bolt, because people, Usain Bolt is an icon. Iconic in the truest sense of the word. And this has really impacted the investment industry. So the government again is now in another quandary, because the truth is, if they, one of the ways that they can get the investment industry to start moving forward again is if they return the money to Usain Bolt publicly, then that would restore confidence, at least a great deal of confidence, in the average Jamaican. Because for the Jamaican economy to grow, people, I know this is a track and field video, but I have to tell you from all angles. For the Jamaican economy to grow, one of the things we need are Jamaicans investing in Jamaica and in Jamaican companies. So, although technically the government may not be responsible for giving him back his money, I would suggest that they give him back his money, because, and take the hit and give back the other people their money too. Because, I'm going to say it again, Usain Bolt represents the average Jamaican, the young man from Trelawney who has made very good by hard work and dedication. And if he can lose $12 million, you may never get a large portion of the population, once they get to a place where they have a few dollars to invest, to ever invest in this country and in the companies in this country, in the ideas and goals and dreams of young people. So whereas there is a very distinct possibility that the government may say, I'm not going to give him back his money, I don't know. I mean, if I were the government, and I am not, obviously, especially now what is considered an election year, I'd give Usain Bolt his money. Because I think the psychological impact of this and the economic impact of this is going to be felt for years to come. So you can't just don't just give him back his money because it's the right thing to do, and I think it is. But you need to give him back his money because of who he is and what he represents. Usain Bolt represents hope and dreams. Usain Bolt represents, anybody, any yardie, any Jamaican, if they put in the work and if they're smart as well as work hard, they can get there too. So yes, there's a true possibility that he may lose. Usain Bolt may not get back his money. But my humble advice to the persons who hold the purse strings, including the private sector, is give back Bolt his money. But this, of course, is my 2 cents. Now, don't forget to check out our merch store at printify.com. I will leave a link in the description below. I see several of you buying merch. Thank you so very much for the support. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and hit the like button. Remember, you are royals, kings and queens. Bless up!